Yo, what's going on, guys? Doom Incarnate or Incarnate HD here, and what you guys are watching right now is a 103-7 double chem strike with the SC 2010 on WARHAWK. And now this, in my opinion, is one of the best gameplays in Call of Duty Ghosts, just because of the fact that, number one, it's on WARHAWK, and most double chems, or most 100+ specialists, are on maps like Strike Zone or Freefall. And WARHAWK is one of the smaller maps, but it's still not as small as those maps, so it's much harder to get 100 kills, but he does get 103 in this game. And it's with the SC 2010, which you mainly see gun streaks with, not as many double chems. So really good job by Stealthy, who's one of the newer members of Doom. He just joined. I think he actually has the most solo double chems. I think he's sitting at around 20. I think he's a little bit less, like 17 or 18. But probably one of the best solo players in this game, if not the best in my opinion. Just to see the stuff that this guy does. And this is on 360. Most of his gameplays are on the 1, as you will see in the future. But the topic I want to talk about today is Call of Duty as a franchise, or looking at it as a franchise and looking at it as a YouTube, like a YouTube point of view. Now, basically, I'm going to start with the franchise. Now, a lot of people have been saying Call of Duty is dying. Now, in my opinion, that's not true, like, in the slightest. Now, you may be saying, yeah, well, the game's dead, the gameplays aren't entertaining. But a majority of people who are on YouTube for Call of Duty don't really care about double, triple, chems, high gameplays. They don't really care about that. Honestly, they just want to see the funny stuff, stuff that's more entertaining than this, because all they do is they come to this and critique it. You'll see in the comments a lot of these videos are people just hating, which, I mean, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but if you don't like something, you really don't need to speak about it. But, aside from that, as a franchise, Call of Duty is one of the greatest franchises, you know, in history, just because of the consistent sales and the consistently rising, you know, sales of the game every time it releases. You know, it releases annually, and they top each other every year. Every Call of Duty tops one another. Call of Duty goes past GTA 5 in sales, and GTA 5 is much more entertaining for YouTube than Call of Duty is, yet Call of Duty sold more. It's basically kind of a monopoly if you think about it. Not exactly to the full extent, but in a sense it is, due to the fact that every year you do buy it, you know? No matter how much you say, oh, the game's gonna suck and I'm not gonna buy it, you always do end up buying it. I mean, just give in here. Obviously, you know that you're gonna buy it every single year. It's just what happens, you know? It's not a matter of, you know, your resilience to try and not give in and try and boycott the game so it's better. You're obviously gonna buy it, you know? Just because they have us brainwashed practically. Every year we save up that $60 for the Call of Duty that releases in November, and we talk about how much we hate it. Now, I'm on the opposite point of that. I really hate talking about how much I hate Call of Duty. Now, I know that sounds pretty redundant, or not necessarily redundant, but that sounds really stupid. Like, because everyone talks about how much they hate the game, but I'm really against that just because it's so oversaturated, just talking about how much you hate the game, when you can talk about what you can do to make it better, or just different stuff, just because, in my opinion, ranting about the game just isn't creative. So now from a YouTube standpoint, this is going to take much longer than the franchise standpoint. I feel like it's one of the best games for YouTube, and clearly it is. Just some of the biggest channels are based around video games. You know, some of them might not necessarily be based around Call of Duty. You know, you have people like PewDiePie who base their channel around other games other than Call of Duty, but then you have some pretty big Call of Duty channels. Like, you have some people sitting around 2-3 million subscribers and consistently upload Call of Duty mainly. But why is YouTube dead, apparently? Why is Call of Duty apparently dead? That's because we're pub stompers. Now, I'm going to keep this, you know, I'm going to try and elaborate a little bit. Call of Duty is less fun when you're good at it. Now, I'm not saying we're the best players. I'm not saying we're competitive. I'm just saying we're better than average players. You know, that's obviously by the gameplays that we get. We're better than average players. I mean, no matter how bad our enemies are, it's tough to get these gameplays regardless of the enemies. I mean, you need to have some skill. And I just feel like if we're worse at the game's more fun, because when you're bad at a sport, take it as an example, when you're not really experienced, you don't really have a need to care about it that much, because you know you don't have as much of an ability to succeed as the next guy does who's as good, and he may take it more seriously because he knows he has the ability to succeed and do well, and he can't, or when he's not. So we rage because we know we have the ability to do well, but we're just not capitalizing, basically. We're not capitalizing on our skills, and we're not going to the full extent of what we can do, and we're not succeeding. And that's basically why pub stomping is so so dull and just so not full of life anymore. You know, back in MW3 when everything was solo based, in the beginning of MW3 before support did start, you know, there was no such thing as gameplays being stale. In Black Ops 1, no one's like, oh, YouTube's dead, the game is stale. No one said that, just for the simple fact that people didn't take the game as seriously, which in turn made YouTube more fun and just more enjoyable for everyone as a whole. And it was just so much better back then than it is now, because also population, the amount of people that, I'm not going to say wannabes, but they're followers rather than leaders. Instead of doing their own thing, they just try and be like the next pub stomping channel or the next, I'm not calling out anyone, you know, by any means. I'm just saying you need to be a leader, not a follower. And if you have so many followers, it becomes oversaturated. I know I say that a lot, but you know, it becomes overused and just too repetitive. And it doesn't become as entertaining as it was, because you have more people doing it rather than a select few that did. And now everyone's trying to replicate that one person, and all the content's the same. And then you just start saying that the game is bad and that Call of Duty's bad and it's dying. And then you tweet at Tina about how much you hate the game. And then she tweets back at you like, why are you mad? And then you just get so angry because you know that they can do better, Call of Duty. They can do better. I know I say I hate renting, but they can do better, obviously. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. I don't know their overall net worth, but I do believe they're a multi-billion-dollar company, and they can do better. But they already have us pulled in. We're already stuck in the loop, you know. We're already stuck playing Call of Duty and buying it every year and trying to go for the best gameplays possible until we run the game dry. You know, obviously I'm part of a pub stomping channel, so I love pub stomping and everything about it. You know, I'm more of a commentator, obviously, because I'm here talking to you right now. But, that is going to be the gameplay. Tell me what you guys did think about the commentary topic. My name is Incarnate, or Incarnate HD. You can check out my channel in the description. As well, you can check out Stealthies. If you did watch all the way through this, comment strawberry milk. That's something I like to do to see if everyone wants to. My name is Incarnate HD, and I'm out. Peace.